That's defeat number 7 for the season. I'm here to discuss what keeps going wrong with our football club as we break down the 4 key things we learned in that defeat against Everton. So my friends, hit the like button, share your thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to watch today's big News Daily video. There is another News Daily video planned for tomorrow, early tomorrow, because I can't have more than 2 uploads for the day, so bear with me. You will see that as we have tons of things to discuss surrounding Pochettino, Conor Gallagher, plus a host more. So my friends, hope you guys enjoy and getting straight into things. And now let's discuss Mudryk's game versus Everton yesterday. And I have to say, it continues the recent pattern of things. I have to say around Mudryk, I feel like it was yet again another promising performance. And I think what I liked about his game against Everton was the consistency in which he was involved in the game. I think that was the major positive right here. If we break down the stats, my guys, of course, he played like 30 out of 40 accurate passes. He had 65 touches. That's some of the highest touches he's had throughout his entire Chelsea career with us. Off the ball, he is improving. You know, he contested 7 out of 15 ground duels, winning 7 of them. He's not afraid to drag back. And in terms of his dribble success rate, that was 5 out of 7. So he was bringing dynamism, and he was the player that his teammates were looking to play towards. So let's analyze this game. Let's see how he performs. As you can see here, he timed his run in behind in that moment of the game. So sometimes the frustration is that these comp makers, they don't show the full actions. I understand they have to take shortcuts, of course, to get past copyright. But, that pass to Enzo Fernandez, that cutback cross, was something that he was looking to play in time and time again. And I think he played like 4 or 5 of this exact same type of pass. A shame that Enzo could only just hit it on target, but not away from the keeper. But again, we were finding Enzo in these separation moments against Ashley Young. Now, Young is like in his mid-30s. You'd imagine that Mudryk is going to beat this guy time and time again. It was an effective strategy having Mudryk isolated against Ashley Young. See a little quick shimmy, and he's just quickly attacking the space. And I feel like I saw Mudryk making the same action throughout the game. As Pochettino been encouraging this type of dribble for Mudryk instead of consistently cutting inside. Left foot across doesn't find someone, but he has that in this game. On set piece duties, and again, he was the player constantly holding the width time and time again. Forcing Everton to attract themselves towards him, stretching their defensive lines. As we see here yet again, left foot cross across goal. He was showing his threat throughout the game. Tracks back, does his duties, but again, these moments right here. Wasn't the best cross, one of the few occasions we actually committed men inside the books. I'm looking at the options. Are you playing a low driven to Conor Gallagher? Listen, it's all like low probability efforts, right? But, it's a shame that we had no one attacking the back post, but wasn't the best cross from Mikhailo. Here, yes, again, constantly receiving on the outside. Pace to burn. And that was a nice moment there. That was like one of our best pieces of play in the game, that whole move. Bro just tried to find the shot with the outside of his boot. Very unlucky. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of like how Vinny is used at Real Madrid's. And if you're seeing here now, we're seeing the introduction of Maatsen on the field. And when Maatsen came on, we were seeing a Mudryk that's able to cut inside a bit more and affect the game more centrally. Mudryk, he can play that pass with his creativity. He can take shots in on goal. He wants to drift inside at times. And of course, he has the qualities from the outside. But I thought in particular, the final 20 minutes of the game when we had effective left back support to help Mudryk, I think that really allowed him to play to his best strengths. I've been saying this for a while because I've watched Mudryk play at Shakhtar. He's a high volume style player. He's the type of player that has like a 5 out of 10 efficiency rate. And I think the whole point of developing Mudryk is, minimize those margins even further to get him to be more efficient. And I think when he has a partner in crime on the left-hand side right here, just holding the width, allowing Mudryk to have the freedom to roam in that left channel. Where if he wants, he can run on the outside, he can cut inside, he can play balls in behind it, as you're seeing Caicedo there is making the third man run. I felt like there was a lot more balance to our attack, and if we played this way from the start of the game, I think the outcome may have been a bit different in terms of the result. But one thing I'm hoping for against Sheffield United is, please, Pochettino, play Maatsen left back alongside Mudryk. In pre-season, you were using Ben Chilwell as a left back with left winger support. And is it any surprise that we had men crashing the books, that we looked a bit more fluid in our attack? You know, we had players playing in their best positions and roles. And I feel like we can definitely profit from this high volume play at this stage of his development right now. So my friends, that was Mudryk's game against Everton, promising, and let's hope he continues this against Sheffield United. Is Enzo Fernandez starting to get a bit frustrated with life at this football club right now? Now, one of the disappointing things yesterday's game was the fact that we continued this failed experiment of Enzo being the 10/8, that is receiving balls in higher up positions, that is doing the job of two roles as an 8 and 10, and having minimal influence on the ball. One of the interesting stats yesterday, I'm going to use this as a comparison. Now, even though I thought Connor was decent, Connor had 111 touches of the ball against Everton. You know, 91% pass completion rate, you know what I mean? 4 out of 7 long balls played, 2 key passes, you know, 7 out of 9 ground duels, you know, typical good stuff from Connor. Enzo, on the other hand, had 47 touches, 31 out of 35 accurate passes played. You know, not one long ball throughout the entire game. Not one. And just minimal influence, where a lot of times playing this role, it requires you to make space for your teammate. And I think I want to just use the example of his game yesterday to explain this point in greater detail, because listen, he showed his promise as an 8, but I feel like this particular use of using him this way isn't always as effective. Right here, you know, Enzo's shown throughout the season that he is lurking on the outside of the box to take these shots on. We're not seeing that shooting accuracy yet. I think that's been the biggest disappointment of Enzo's game this season. Straight at the goalkeeper, very easy save. But see what I mean? He plays the pass to Conor Gallagher, and he's getting ready to move in behind Everton's midfield lines. You know, on the other hand, in previous games, Enzo would be receiving where Connor is, and Connor would be making that run in behind. But see, this is what I mean by Enzo's box-to-box threats. Like, he knows how to receive balls in behind. You know, his progressive passes receive stats are always really good. So he knows the right position to receive, to push the team forward and to kickstart attacks. One passage here, I thought that was poor from Cucurella. Look, you know, Enzo was looking to play the ball over the top then. I thought that was a really bad run from Mark, and it's just like, you know, when we have a left back and Matson's a bit more adventurous, I feel like you force your own luck in this game. You know, Pochettino is talking about misfortune offensively. Well, if these are the type of guys that you want to have in the final third, what do you expect when it comes to breaking teams down if they're not going to take that risk? Look, kill the pass for Enzo. He's forced Enzo to play back into midfield now. See, that's lovely, lovely footwork from Enzo. I love his close control. He's a very smart football player. Like, he's very hard to take off the ball. He rarely gets tackled, to be fair. Great play there. 1-touch, 2-touch pass. Enzo, again, he's looking to try and find an option. Nothing there, as you're seeing. No bodies between the lines. No one in the half spaces. It's not good enough. He's forced to play really wide now to find Mudryk. But again, it's not in a dangerous zone. But this was a super play from Enzo. And this is what I mean by the potential he has in this 8 role if he's able to receive deeper when it comes to playing this way. Like, let me see it again, because that was one of my favorite moments of the game, actually. Took out 2 like nothing, and that was really the game plan. And again, plays a pass to Broja, and Broja, poor play from Broja. Look at Enzo's reaction there. He's frustrated because he's wasting his energy having to like attack the space inside the box, and then he's not getting on the end of that. He's not getting any returns from that. It's annoying, and I understand that. Again, plays it in front to find Mudryk. Shields it well. Great close control. But forced to play back in field again. Why? Because look where Levi Cole is. He's very deep, and when you're using ill-equipped guys at left back who don't want to really venture past the halfway line, you know, you encourage this negative sideways passing at times. You know, I think one of the frustrating things which I'll get upon as well too is how often Enzo had to drift wide to the left. This comp doesn't necessarily show those actions, which is quite annoying, but there was many a time in this game where you're seeing Enzo drifting wide to the left to take a man away from Mudryk, of course, to go 1v1. And it's just like, this is what, again, you're seeing him very wide in the left hand side. He's not in the channel, at least. He's not central And this is why he wasn't utilizing any of his long-range passing, because he couldn't. Like he's trying to, but the option isn't there and it's low XG. But look, he's got great play, again, because he's a phenomenal player. He escapes the press very well. He plays a 1-2, he's looking to receive again, and this was poor from Mudryk then. Not doing a little backheel pass to find Enzo in behind. So again, you're seeing the body language, frustration, and it's constant frustration in that game against Everton. You know, a lot of good stuff he's creating isn't getting on the end of nothing. And I just feel like this role in which Pochettino is encouraging all these lateral runs wide to the left it's not the one at all. And it's just like it's minimal influence that we have from Enzo, because Enzo's best stuff is on the ball. And I don't think he has to be this Jorginho midfield guy that dictates have influence. No, he has to be in the channel. He has to be more central. He has to be more connected to the play. And honestly, I would have just swapped Connor and Enzo Fernandez to get best of both worlds. And it's surprising to me that Pochettino went against this for no reason when I thought we left this behind. Let's discuss no links in attack. Now, Armando Broja, if you've seen from the past maps immediately, he was absolutely disconnected from the rest of the team. And do I necessarily blame him? You know, in terms of his involvements, you know, 5 out of 7 passes played. In terms of touches, only 16 touches, you know. Had 1 shot, lost possession 7 times. He was on the periphery throughout. He wasn't involved. But with the profile of striker that Broja is, he is a guy that plays on the last lines. He runs the channels. He's a transitional type of forwards. And for me, it's simply this. And I think the best way to describe how I feel about this is by showing this clip on screen right here, my friends. As you guys can see, like one of the few bits of like quality team play where we exploited Everton's mid-block. We attracted them to press the ball, you know, to open up those midfield lines in behind. And you're going to see it right here. Look. The mid-block sitting exposed. Connor makes a nice run to the right-hand side to draw the Everton press there, because he's getting ready to find Caicedo first time, because this is what Connor does. He creates spaces for his teammates for moves like this to kickstart. First time to Caicedo, lots of nice first-time passes playing forward. And look, this is one of the few occasions where Cole Palmer is receiving central, facing towards goal, where he can utilize his through ball skills. Plays like great weighted passing behind. If I was Broja, again, maybe it was just a bit too further away. Maybe not the best pass from Cole Palmer. But I'm using this moment as an example, even though it ended really poorly, because when you use a striker like Broja, on the last lines, he wants to run in between the spaces that the defenders leave, right? It means that you need a connector that can take advantage of the runs he's making, that can play those balls in behind, that can find them, that can connect them. And the pass map, as you're seeing again, shows that he had no connections whatsoever. And for me, the key thing is you want Cole Palmer playing closer to Broja. You want Cole Palmer more central. And what's frustrating is that we didn't see this until the final 20 minutes of the game, but Palmer was kind of connecting the play on the right side and the left hand side, and he was having more influence in terms of at least, like, you know, helping us find the forwards a lot better. And it frustrated me that Pochettino, after the sub of Reece James, made such a negative substitution where you have 2 inverted players in Kuku and Palmer wide on the right hand side, and when you have them playing to their stronger foot on the right side, it's going to encourage backwards passes. It's going to encourage negativity on the ball. As you're seeing again with this example, this is the moments we had to create more of. Cole Palmer, if you're going to use Enzo Fernandez as that 8/10, you should have used Cole Palmer there instead. We had Raheem Sterling. We had figures on the bench that should have started this game to keep that balance on the pitch, yeah? And I felt like this is where Pochettino takes some responsibility for getting the tactics wrong and not helping the team out properly. You know, 16 shots, only 4 on target, like 6 are blocked, 6 are off target. You know, not one big chance made at all. And only 1 counter-attack. It's not good enough. And I think this is why we created this isolation up front, because the key thing is when you have this type of forward, you must give him that 10 in behind that wants to play the balls to him in behind, that wants to find him, that is literally receiving, and then second moment afterwards is looking to play that striker in. And I felt like Pochettino did not help the team balance by wasting Palmer on the right hand side for 70 minutes of this game, especially when Reece James went off. And now for the final thing we learnt, my friends. Can we keep relying upon Reece James? Now, one of the saddest moments of the game yesterday was Reece James coming off yet again with yet another hamstring injury. And I think if we're all being honest as a fan base, I feel like whenever we see Reece James play, we're kind of expecting some misfortune to fall his way. We're kind of expecting an aggravation to flare up, and we're kind of expecting him to come off with an injury at some point. I know he's only just returned back, but I was not once thinking that we're set to see him play now for like an extended period of time. That wasn't the case, and yesterday it was proven yet again. This is the second consecutive hamstring injury for Reece James. The first one kept him out for 7 games and 36 days. The second one kept him out for 54 days and 9 games. He's had 7 hamstring injuries in 3 years right now. And even though we don't have complete confirmation behind the full extent of the injury against Everton, some rumours are surfacing suggesting that Reece could be out until the start of the new year. So it's a shame that we are missing our captain, one of our key best players on the field that affects the games in both halves. And the fact that we can't rely upon him consistently obviously isn't going to help our team. Now listen, I'm no expert. I don't want to give any like lazy YouTube takes where I'm like talking beyond my expertise, but I'm going to say all Reece has to do is get surgery, do this, do that. Listen, all I can simply say is that I hope that he listens to the experts. I hope the medical team experts give him the best possible advice in terms of helping him get over these hamstring injuries. Now, of course, if they keep flaring up consistently, there could be some serious conversations around the future of his career here. In the meantime, I don't think the hamstrings that he's facing right now are that detrimental to his career at this point in time. I think they are the type of injury that you can kind of get control of eventually. And I think it is about time now that solutions are found for Reece to get better control over his body. I don't know if that's through things like maybe a new diet, a new type of training, a new way of doing things. I feel like there has to be something done now to, help him overcome these injuries. Because, my friends, one thing I'm not here to say is that we have to sell Reece James based on these hamstrings. I'm sorry. This season kind of feels like a write-off. And I don't feel like it's at a point where we must think about selling Reece to Real Madrid next summer. Because I'm sorry, there's no one available in the market anywhere as good as Reece James. You might say Frimpong from Leverkusen, but my friends, he's playing more like a winger in a wing-back system. He is not that defensively sound like you might think to yourself, irrespective of the goals and assists for Leverkusen so far. There is no one on the market as good as Reece James, and I feel like we'll benefit from him in future seasons and months ahead in the future. But I think right now, after this consecutive hamstring injury, there has to be some serious, realistic conversations had now around what must be done, what tough decisions must be made to overcome this and to minimize these injuries. Otherwise, I feel like his long-term career may be in jeopardy right now, because you can't be missing out on, so many months of football due to having to rehabilitate time and time again. You won't fulfill your full potential. So I hope the tough decisions get made, and let's see what happens. So my friends, that's everything we learned in that defeat against Everton. Share your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about things? And of course, make sure you guys stay hooked in on Blue Lions TV. More videos dropping tomorrow, and check all the latest content that's released last night and today, my friends. So I'm Dini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.